Good afternoon, everyone. It is meteorologist Carly Smith. We are now live. I will be talking, so it does look like a watch is unlikely, according to the Storm Prediction Center, but we do have the potential for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts in any of these storms that do develop. So this was kind of that stronger storm. It now tapped into, so I don't know if anyone was watching earlier, but it did, we were talking about the steering direction of this storm. And so let me turn off this windshield that says no sound. Well, let me make sure the sound is working before I do that. Windshield that says no sound. All right, the sound is working. I am now seeing your comments, questions, concerns pouring down in Calallen. Storming where Calallen meets Robstown, lots of standing water. So remember to turn around and don't drown. Turn around, don't drown. That's going to be the greatest tip to give, but I showed this earlier. Actually, let me get rid of this hit windshield, which is what it's called where I have the words up. But right here, this is our upper level low, and what you see is going to be wind. Wind that is coming down this way and then turning this way. So that storm, as it was moving through Alice, then tapped into the easterly winds, or westerly winds rather, and is now moving from the west to the east right into Nueces County. So that is the stronger storm that we were talking about if you were on the live stream earlier. Crazy wind in Kingsville right now. So Kingsville is getting the outflow boundary and kind of the southern end of this storm, but it has essentially turned as we were just watching it a few minutes ago because it is now tapping into those easterly winds, which A, is going to get more rain into Corpus, but B, I am a little concerned about the flooding potential as well. It's moving pretty fast, but as you see, these little storms off in the Gulf, they're barely moving. This little storm that has been hanging out over San Patricio County is barely moving. And so the biggest information I need to get, let's take a look at the severe wind. So yeah, actually someone mentioned strong winds in Kingsville. The radar, well, it's kind of tricky because the radar is right in the middle of this storm, but we are getting now, well, it's gonna pick up the box. So let's get rid of the watch box so we can query the winds. We are now getting, 58 miles per hour. That is the minimum criteria for a severe thunderstorm right over kind of Refinery Row. So the refineries, Nueces Bay, that's where the strongest winds are. This storm just really intensified as it tapped into that easterly flow, or that west to east flow. That we've seen. But yeah, there are some strong winds. Kingsville's starting to see the backside of the strong winds. There's some strong winds moving south of Petronila and to the east there of Bishop, Baffin Bay. Those areas definitely are picking up some stronger winds as well. We're talking 50-mile-per-hour winds. So the good news is this is all below 100 miles per hour. So this is not a storm like we saw a couple of months ago that moved through Driscoll, Petronila, Bishop, but it is a storm that is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour winds. And where we're seeing most of those right now is right near the radar, right at the National Weather Service. Let's see what the gust has been reported. So Corpus Christi weather station still at 37-mile-per-hour gust, but right at the radar is where I would be seeing some of the strongest gusts, 40 miles per hour in Robstown. So no ground kind of surface truth. Alice, I mentioned the storm was strong near Alice, and then it tapped into the flow that pushed it east. So Alice has seen 49-mile-per-hour wind, but that's not severe. 58 miles per hour is when the severe thunderstorm criteria starts. But again, this storm is approaching Corpus Christi, and it is moving at about 20 miles per hour now to the east. So moving 20 miles per hour to the east. And as we put a storm track on this, we'll get a good ETA, estimated time of arrival. So not all of these locations are currently in the severe thunderstorm warning, but what they are is ETAs if the storm continues on the path that it's on. So we have that approaching Cabinets Field area, 409, Corpus Christi downtown 411, Peary Place 431, Naval Air Station, Flower Bluff 437 to 440, Seashore Learning Center on the island 454, and then Mustang Beach, Port Aransas 507. Let's take a look at some of our tower cams. So this is going to be our Lex camera. Totally covered in rain. So this is another big issue. If you are out trying to drive in this right now, rainfall is going to be a big issue. Visibility is going to be very low in spots. Definitely some dangerous driving conditions. I would suggest not driving. This is North Beach right now. It's just starting to approach areas through downtown Corpus Christi and into the rest of the city. So areas like Flower Bluff, you're not quite getting it yet. Let's take a look at our tower camera now. So here's the tower camera. This is the south side. Really fascinating. You can see how this has kind of created, as I mentioned earlier, a bit of a gust front appearance on the leading edge of the storm. Nothing is scary here or showing signs of like rotation or lowering or things like that. But this leading edge of the storm where you see the darker cloud, that is a good sign of strong wind gusts. And that is what we are dealing with right now in Corpus Christi, is these strong wind gusts. Let's take a look at our temperatures. So temperature has dramatically dropped now that there's rain at the airport. Our temperatures are now in the 50s, which is just wild, or not 50s. Wouldn't that be crazy? We do have 60s for Beeville, Mathis, Freer, but we're in the 70s. So it's 74 degrees now in Corpus Christi. That is a rough, I think I saw us reach a peak of 93. So 93, the peak, and high temperature, possibly. We'll see what the climate data says. And now we're at 74. So that's roughly a 20-degree temperature difference as the storm moved in, which is just fabulous. Who doesn't love a nice cool down? But again, this storm can be hazardous. It does have 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is not destructive winds, but it is hazardous winds that can cause some minor damages, things like power outages. In fact, I can try to see how many power outages we're dealing with right now. All right, we're starting. I'm looking at the power outages. You cannot see them. It doesn't look horrible right yet. In fact, Kingsville area is showing some of the most power outages, which that is what a lot of y'all said. The wind was crazy in Kingsville. You don't have a warning, unfortunately, but yeah, the strongest wind, the good news is now closer to Baffin Bay. It's not really over the Kingsville area anymore, but you definitely have the most power outages. There's over 1,000 power outages, possibly 3,000 or more in the Kingsville area. So you definitely got hit with some of the hardest wind. Corpus Christi, right now our power outages are close to 10 to 50, which is not horrible at all. Someone says they're getting the oceanfront property they've always wanted in Annabelle. Okay, let's go back to our zoomed in view. So much lightning in the coastal bend now. So, or really in Nueces County. Let's get a look at that lightning. So we're getting 372 lightning strikes. 372, the doors just opened at our studios and I heard the pouring down rain. So I think visibility, again, I would not drive in this if I don't have to. work hours. It's not the worst evening commute, but it's starting to get close, right? So yeah, roads are going to get messy. They're going to be wet. This storm is moving at 20 miles per hour. Let's see when the rain will come to an end now. We'll start to time that out. But yeah, a really impressive lightning strike numbers. Positive strikes 282, negative strikes 90. So that's a lot of lightning. I'm not even including the storm in San Patricio County. The rain is definitely heavy. It is falling very heavy outside of our station. These storms are producing rainfall rates that are about 2 inches per hour. And so let's take a look at the rain over the last 3 hours. It says last hour, it's actually the last 3 hours. I know I need to fix that. But Bengueti area, 2 inches up near Portland. This is where we have a flood advisory also, 2 to 3 inches, and it's gonna continue to rain. So as this moves into Nueces, into Corpus Christi, then it's gonna start to move a little bit more north again. So I think Portland continues to see some rain. You've recently started getting in on the rain, and it's only gonna continue. So I would be ready. We could have some flash flood warnings issued between now and then. Olivia says her sister lost power at her house. Zach says, let's enjoy it while it's here. Why do we have to talk about when it will end? Well, because while the rain is great, it does make doing things difficult, right? So like if you need to go to the grocery store, you might want to know when it's going to end, right? So you could do it safely. So obviously, and this really isn't our watershed, right? So if it was raining up here, I would say, yeah, let's hope it never ends, right? At least for a while. But over us, it's really not going anywhere except in your yard, which we need that too. We're in a drought still here in the coastal bend with our soil moisture as well. A lot of lightning. It was over 300 strikes within, I believe this is data over the last 5 minutes. So the gray strikes, the ones that are a little grayer, are the older ones that have already happened. The ones that like flash big, that is a lightning strike that has just happened. So it's a lot. It definitely is a lot. This is an electrical storm. I think if we see power outages, it will more so be from the lightning. Kingsville area, it does have the most power outages right now. You are not under a severe thunderstorm warning, but Kingsville area AEP data from there shows 3,000 power outages or more, 3,000 people without power. Rather. So that area definitely got hit with some strong wind that knocked out power in that area. All of the lightning staying to the north. Now that the storm has started moving west, unfortunately for areas like Rivera, Falfurrias, Hebbronville, I'm not confident on you guys getting much in the way of rain. So the outflow boundary is now approaching Falfurrias. If you're going to get anything, we need to get some storms to form on that outflow boundary in order for you to get the rain. Okay, so it's talking about when will it end. Let's time that out now. So if this is moving at 20 miles per hour, here's the back end. It will go through Corpus Christi by 5:21. So between now and 5:30 roughly, expect rain in Corpus Christi. Between now and 5:30 for areas like Flower Bluff and Port Aransas, expect the rain through 6. For areas like Kingsville, expect the rain, I would say longer than what this says. This is 4:39. I would say like Corpus Christi. I would expect it through about 5:30, but it's a bit more scattered there in Kingsville, so it's more of a hit or miss. Areas from Sinton down through Kingsville, this is where our line is. Anywhere south of Kingsville, I'm not confident in how much rain you'll see now that this has a westerly component, now that it's moving from the east to the west. So now, look at those temperatures. Kingsville, look at your temperature. Sarita and, I don't know why Falfurrias temperatures aren't showing up, but Cerrito got up to 96, Kingsville got up to 97, now it's 77. So in the last hour, the temperature has fallen 10 degrees. But again, the strongest updraft, the most lightning, that's over Corpus Christi. Let's see if there's any hail. Look at that hail, yeah. So the National Weather Service has continued the severe thunderstorm warning until 4:15 for Corpus Christi, Petronila, Violet, Viola. Robstown is now out of the warning. So yeah, we do have a little bit of hail. I would say at most nickel-size hail, for the most part pea-size hail, anywhere from Annaville through Clarkwood and down through Petronila. So Pea-sized to nickel-sized hail, that's not going to cause a lot of damage. You may notice a little bit of minor damage on things like cars or roofs, but we also have a little bit of hail up in San Patricio County. We'll go back now to the live radar. Now, I may take a break here or there from talking. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just getting a drink, putting on some makeup, getting ready for the 5 o'clock news, all while we are working on this live stream. But again, the warning is for roughly 12 more minutes. So we have 12 more minutes of the warning. Wind, let's take a look at the wind. So yeah, still a lot of strong winds showing up right here. So Petronila, it's already passed. This is Chapman Ranch area. This is not, again, this is nowhere near, oh, we have to turn the warnings off. This is nowhere near. 63 is severe limits, or in the severe limits, but this is nowhere near destructive like we saw about a month ago for the Petronila, Driscoll, Bishop, Alice area. This is a typical severe thunderstorm. 68 is starting to get pretty strong, but it's a typical bow echo severe thunderstorm that is creating some strong wind in the area. And boy, is that rain really lowering visibility. It sounds nice, honestly. Look at that. We can't see anything on the Lex camera. So traveling, not advised at this point in time. I would not be traveling. I would take it, just stay where you're at if you can. Again, it is going to be roughly an hour, I believe, until the rain may start to taper off. For areas like Flower Bluff, the island, your rain is just now starting, and it could be closer to, let's say, 6. So yeah, this is the view on our Lex camera. This is where our severe thunderstorm warning is. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. If you are just now tuning in, thank you for watching this live update. It is raining, y'all. How do we feel about it? This rain is coming along with the risk of some 60-mile-per-hour wind gust, and there's a lot of lightning. So you see that here on your screen. If we take the lightning off, we can kind of see where the strongest updrafts are. No pinks are showing up. That's a good sign when it comes to hail, but this again, it has the bow echo. And the bow echo is what is creating the 60-mile-per-hour wind risk right here. It's likely become a little MCV. We can see a little bit of rotation in the upper part of the storm right about here. That's what's helped kind of push it more from the west to the east versus continuing to go further south. So yeah, this has been a fun event, y'all, and I want to thank you for watching 3 News as we go through this. I am not on the screen. It is just my voice because I am actively getting ready for the 5 o'clock newscast while we are also live. And so I'm sure you would enjoy watching that. However, that is not what's important, is me doing my makeup. What is important is getting the information out about this rain. So yeah, if you had plans to head to the store, I would just wait. Again, we tracked the estimated kind of end of the rainfall, and that's going to be around 5:30 for Corpus Christi, 6 to 6:30 the closer you live to the island. And it hasn't started raining there, so if you need to go somewhere on Padre Island, Flower Bluff, you still have a little bit of time to do that before the rain arrives, but it is coming. It is headed your way. Waiting patiently in the bluffs, says Brett. Where's rain on the south side? It's coming. So we have rain starting right over our station, which is on SPID between Everhart and Staples. We also have rain that's starting to move into the south side. So this Let's get in on some of these roads. Weber Road, Everhart, Holly. So not the heart of Southside. It's not quite to Saratoga yet, but it's getting there. You're getting a little bit of light rain in spots along Saratoga. This whole line is headed your way. And so, yeah, let's turn the lightning back on because that's the fascinating part of the storm. If anyone can take lightning photos safely, please send them to me. My Facebook page is Carly Smith WX. That's also my Twitter and my Instagram. So watch there or send information there as well. How long should it last? That's what we just talked about, Dana. Maybe you heard that. Kingsville, I would say similar time. You're getting a little bit more spotty storms, so you may get some breaks in the rain. It actually may linger a little longer in Kingsville, but it'll be off and on. So there's a heavy burst of rain right now. That'll move west, you'll likely get a break, and then you may see some off and on periods of rain through about 7 o'clock tonight. Ingleside, it's coming. If it's not already raining yet, it's getting close. There you are. You're getting the lightning, so you have an old lightning strike, some fresh lightning strikes. But it's coming. It's coming. It is moving west at about 20 miles per hour, and it is coming for everyone along the coast. Slowly but surely. For the Portland area, San Patricio, it's the rain. Between Portland and Sinton, 181 likely has several areas of ponding, rainfall, fields flooding a bit with 2.5 inches of rain over the last 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours, 2 to 3 inches of rain. That has fallen in the San Patricio County, there between Sinton and Portland and Bayside and the Nueces border. Ready to evacuate. It's not a hurricane, but if you do live in a low-lying area, an extra low-lying area, just use caution. We don't really see the flash flooding like what happened in San Antonio earlier this morning, thankfully, because we don't have the hills that cause the sweeping water. But ponding can cause cars to stall. We do have bridges and roads that sometimes allow water to pond up and be deeper in spots. So if you cannot tell how deep the water is, turn around so you don't drown. If you live in a super low-lying area, use caution. There is the rain coming down. Get me film some of it. That looks crazy. It's a great shot. And our gutter is overflowing. It's not a trickle, it's a downpour. That looks great. Yeah, that's awesome.
It's in Teams.
Cool. So this rain did not benefit our watershed, unfortunately, that we're seeing right now. However, let's get in on the 24-hour rainfall. And then let me see if I have the watershed. So the watershed is kind of hard to see because I have the blue version up, which is better with radar. But the bulk of our watershed did not see rain from this event. However, the north and eastern edge, which is where the worst drought conditions are, across areas near Hondo, Devine, Pleasanton, Campbellton, and then the hill country San Antonio itself. We need San Antonio to get a lot of rain so the aquifer, the Edwards Aquifer, fills back up, and then the water can flow down the rivers. We need the soil to get nice and filled with water so that, again, the water can then run into our rivers. But parts of the watershed did see radar estimated rainfall totals anywhere from 3 to up to 8 inches. Now, most of the 8 inches of rain was out of the watershed, but you do see there near Devine 6.6 inches of rainfall. This severe thunderstorm warning, I believe, does not have the TOR possible tag, which means tornadoes are possible. It is very much a straight line wind type of event. When we look at the velocity again, you see how it comes in It does take a right turn, which if we were tracking supercells, that would be concerning. For tornadoes, they tend to get stronger, and this storm itself did get stronger as it took the right turn, but I am not worried about tornadoes in any of these views, I should say. It is very much a straight line wind event, and what straight line winds mean is it can still be very strong. 60-mile-per-hour winds. There is no tornado threat tag on or tornado possible tag from the National Weather Service, so they are not seeing any risk of tornadoes either at this time. Let's go to our tower cam. This is outside of our station, and you can't see anything here either. This is looking to the north, and it is just pouring down. How do we like it? Okay, someone asked about tornadoes. We are not concerned about tornadoes, but for the marine warning that now extends offshore, especially as the storm moves offshore, there will be a risk for waterspouts. So waterspouts possible for our marine waters. So if you know anyone that's like, hey, let's go fishing, maybe not. I feel for you, Falfurrias and Rivera. Rivera may get on a little bit more rain, but Falfurrias, it is going to be very isolated. The outflow boundary is now reaching you, so your temperature is probably falling. Of course, you don't have a temperature reading there, but yeah. I'm going to leave this up for a little bit. If I stop talking, I haven't gone anywhere. I'm just multitasking. Okay, let's go back now to here. So it looks like, okay, we do have a new severe thunderstorm warning. So you know what, just to get rid of the clutter, I'm just gonna look at the severe warning. Of course, our marine warnings are also included in that. Let's take those off. Okay, so we have a new severe thunderstorm warning that is going to be up until 5 o'clock, which is when our newscast starts, by the way. So up until 5 o'clock, we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. That is going to be for Nueces County, Northern Claiborne County. This is going to include the island, Padre Island, Flower Bluff. We no longer, if you live in Robstown, Driscoll, Bishop, Petronila, Violet, Clarkwood, McNorton, Viola, Annaville, Calallen, none of these locations are under a severe thunderstorm warning. You are in the clear, but it is still raining there. If you live in Corpus Christi, if you live on the south side, if you live in Flower Bluff, if you live in Padre Island, if you live on areas south of Port Aransas along 361, or you have property there, or you're watching from a rental, there is a severe thunderstorm warning for you. Ingleside on the Bay, you are close to the warning, but it does not include San Patricio County at this time. This warning is in place for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts could cause damage to roofs, siding, and trees. There could be power outages. We'll turn the radar back on now. It's just so messy with all the other warnings in play, the marine warnings, the lightning. The storm has a lot of lightning. Let's see if we can make the lightning a little smaller so we can also see the rain. We are getting reports of power outages. North Beach, I heard a power outage in that area. The time you should expect your power to be back on would be as the rain is coming to an end after that. Not guarantee even at that hour. But we do have, if you're just joining, I'm meteorologist Carly Smith, and we do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in play for Corpus Christi. Corpus Christi is under a severe thunderstorm warning. We are tracking this live on all of our streaming platforms except the actual television. And we do have a severe thunderstorm warning until 5 o'clock. The current time is 4:18, and the storm is just now moving into the heart of Corpus Christi. We are just on the front end of it. There is more to come for Corpus Christi. We are just getting started with the heavy rainfall. That is causing visibility to look like this across the area. So driving not advised at this time. And the aquarium is definitely without power. It looks dark there. Let us know in the comments if you have any power outages. And we will do our best to get you through the storm. But yeah, again, driving, I think, is going to be the most dangerous thing you could do right now because you can't see. This is the view from our Lex camera. This is the view from our tower camera. Not to mention, rainfall rates could be as high as 2 inches per hour. 2 inches per hour. And that means we could get ponding on the road. We can get flooding on the roads. And if you have a view like this, you cannot tell if the road is flooded or not. And so you cannot make the decision to turn around and not drown, right? So driving, please don't drive. Lightning, when thunder roars, head indoors. There is a risk of 60-mile-per-hour wind gust. This thunderstorm, there it is coming in. It's really fascinating how it was moving south and then boom, shifted to the west. But that is not an accurate weekend forecast. So let's not look at that. Here's a look at Futurecast. We will continue to see these storms through about 8 o'clock. I don't think it's going to look like that. I don't foresee the Falfurrias area seeing much in the way of rainfall. If it does continue to develop on the outflow boundary, I will be shocked. You know what I want to look at is this visible satellite imagery. This will be a tall tale sign of what's going on to our south. So we see the line. We've got to get convection along this line or just behind it. And there's one little cell trying to pop up there near Falfurrias and Rivera. If that can grow, we may get some rain in the area. But the strongest updraft, the heart of the storm, has turned to the west or to the east, and it is moving east at 15 miles per hour, and that is sucking all the energy out of the atmosphere for itself. It's being a hog, and it is likely going to limit how much rain develops to our south. Special weather statement. That is not severe, but this is for the Portland, Ingleside, and Rockport area. You could have 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and pea-sized hail. 50-mile-per-hour wind gusts and pea-sized hail possible. Let me see. I should have. Okay, a couple of things you should do. Send us your videos and pictures. This is a phone number you can send. I can look at the pictures. Our web team can look at the pictures. Our reporters can look at the pictures. Our anchors can look at the pictures. If you send and text them in to 361-855-6397, if you have pictures of flooding, if you have pictures of hail, if you have video of the torrential downpour, send it our way. 361-855-6397. Additionally, my social media pages are Carly Smith WX on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter or X. Outside? I didn't even hear it. Our reporter Michael Gibson is giving me live updates of what's happening outside because I barely have a view of outside. There's a window and some doors and some signs all in the way. I can barely tell anything is happening. It looks very dark outside, very dark, and it is not night. Traffic is moving slowly, which is what you have to do in this case. You've got to drive slowly or not drive at all. It's best to not drive at all because even if you think you're a good driver, someone else on the road may not be a good driver. But we had a good lightning strike outside of our studio. You know, we might have saw that when I had the tower cam pulled up. There was some lightning. But yeah, power outages are possible. Let me take a look at the power outage map. Peak wind gust at the airport is now up to 52 miles per hour. That is sub-severe. 58 is a severe thunderstorm wind gust. But we do have a 52 mile per hour wind gust now recorded at Corpus Christi International Airport. A lot of the lightning is now overtaking the rain. Look at this. That means that the storm has an overshooting top. So when we look at the satellite radar imagery, this is going to look awesome. So when we look at the satellite radar imagery, you can see where the clouds have extended past into the Gulf, but the rain hasn't yet. The lightning is out ahead of the rain. So you're going to get lightning, you're going to get thunder, you're going to see all of that, hear all of that. I heard that thunder, that lightning strike. You're going to hear all of that before the rain arrives if you are in Port Aransas, Corpus Christi. I believe that funnel cloud was from this morning, but yes. So if you're just now tuning in, the time now is 4:25. We are streaming lots of ways. Live on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV. We also are live on 3 News, KIII, .com, I believe, maybe. Additionally, we're on YouTube and on Facebook. So thank you for watching. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is until 5 p.m. So severe thunderstorm warning is until 5 p.m. 60 mile per hour wind gust, a threat. Lightning, a threat. Heavy rain that makes the view look like this is one of the biggest threats. This is from our Lex camera. And this one is from our studio. And so this is why I would advise not getting on the highway SPID right now, because it is going to look like this. You will not be able to see anything. It will be difficult to drive. People are driving very slow. If you must drive right now, you must be prepared to take it slow. This rain will be coming to an end closer to 5:30 or 6 o'clock. We are really just getting started right now in Corpus Christi. Kingsville, it is more scattered for you. So Kingsville has recorded a 28 mile per hour wind gust. We're not doing a great job at getting new storms to develop there near Falfurrias. Hebbronville, Falfurrias, if you see anything, it will be very spotty. There is some lightning out in that direction, but Kingsville, those storms will be tracking toward Baffin Bay. Corpus Christi, those storms tracking toward Padre Island. San Patricio County, you have a flood advisory that is until 6:15. And as you can see, these storms are not moving very fast. They're not in a hurry to get out of town. In fact, since we last tracked these storms, they have slowed down from 20 miles per hour to just 15 miles per hour. So they're only moving at about 15 miles per hour right now, which is not ideal for getting this rain out of the area. And letting you get about your day without having to drive slow. However, we need the rain, right? So this was the drought monitor that was released today. Remember, we got a lot of rain in San Antonio and across the northern watershed. That didn't happen before Tuesday, so it's not counted in the drought monitor. For Nueces County, we are under a moderate drought. All of this rain will be counted in the drought monitor that is released next Thursday, and we should see improvements, possibly at least to a normally dry. We shall see. We shall see. Here's a look at our hour rainfall radar estimated rainfall totals. The key is at the top of the screen. And what that key shows you is how much rain the radar is estimating. If you're seeing blue, it's around an inch. If you are seeing pink or orange, that's around 3 to 4 inches. We are hearing the wind gust creating whistles in our studio right now. The temperature is only 69 degrees right now in Corpus Christi. It is cold. This rain has been thrown up to the top of the atmosphere and then fallen from the top, and it is cooling us down quite dramatically. We were at 93 degrees last I checked before the rain started. Give or take a degree or two. We'll see when the climate data comes out, but it is now 69.
And the lightning struck right in front of me in the station. That big boom.
Yeah. Did it get a tree?
No, I didn't get a tree. Gosh.
Oh, interesting. When I said the lightning is overtaking the rain, looks like Corpus Christi's International Airport radar went out. So that was a little old for me to realize that. Chief Meteorologist Alan Holt came to the rescue with that information. I was so confused why the lightning was so far out ahead of the rain. But yeah, Corpus Christi radar is out. This one and some of the other radars I've been showing include the Brownsville radar and possibly the San Antonio radar. So yeah, there goes the radar data. Boom, it's gone. So we need to find where I have all the radars turned on and start using that. So right here is going to be, we have some hail up in the upper levels of the atmosphere. It's over Corpus Christi Bay though, so mariners be warned, but otherwise not too bad of a hail core. But yeah, very interesting. We are getting a little bit of rain, a few spotty showers now from Hebbronville to Falfurrias, but not a lot of great new development on the back end of that. It is at its strongest right now through Nueces County, through Flower Bluff is where the heaviest rain is. The heaviest rain is there in Flower Bluff, and this is going to continue to be tracking to the east at roughly 15 miles per hour. So if you're on Highway 77, you're starting to see it come to an end. Now, yes, there's still some scattered showers and storms on the back end of this storm, but Highway 77, you are starting to see things calm down, which is fabulous. Our wind, the whistling wind, that is trippy here at the station, let me tell you. Yeah, so we have lots of radars going on now because the Corpus Christi International Airport radar is down as the storms pass through. We do have some wind gusts of 52 miles per hour recorded. And there you see the radar data go away because the radar is down, unfortunately. So we're going to have to try to stay on this radar. We do have a severe thunderstorm. This is interesting. Thunderstorm warning, well, to our north of Uvalde, but that's not in our viewing area. So, yeah, sometimes these storms could develop and bring us more rain. I don't think that's going to happen. We're getting worked over pretty well right now, which means our atmosphere will be pretty stable on the backside of these storms as they continue to move through the area. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Your time now is 4:33 p.m. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that is in place for Nueces County right along the coast. So this is coastal Nueces County, Corpus Christi, Flower Bluff, Padre Island until 5 o'clock. The main threat is going to be 4 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and lightning and some pea-sized hail. Where the hail would be, Flower Bluff. If anyone in Flower Bluff is seeing hail, please leave that in the comments. The National Weather Service has confirmed a 52 mile-per-hour wind gust, which does put it at 58 miles per hour, which does then set us up for severe thunderstorm wind gusts. That puts it at 58 miles per hour. So now when we look at our data, we need to switch it over to the Brownsville radar. So this is going to be confusing. A lot of, probably an updraft is what's over Corpus Christi Bay. There's an indication of some pretty decent sized hail. Now showing up, wow, this is impressive. The storm probably has tapped into that warm, humid Gulf moisture, and we are getting a lot larger hail now, a lot larger, especially over the bay where the storm is at its strongest. Again, we are definitely picking up things way up in the atmosphere now that we don't have our local radar to look at it, which is really unfortunate. And I'm gonna have to try to save things or always switch to Brownsville every chance I get. Actually, let's see what the Austin San Antonio radar looks like. So this is the Austin San Antonio radar. There could be a water spout over Corpus Christi Bay, but there's definitely an updraft. This is scanning way up in the atmosphere. So if you're seeing rotation, that is definitely the updraft. It's not down at the surface. However, when you have a spinning updraft, you can get a tornado that forms. So there is a chance there could be a water spout. We do have our marine warnings in place for water spouts. Additionally, another updraft is over Flower Bluff right now. And so hail is a lot larger at this point in time. We are getting signs of hail that is 1.2 to 1.3 inches in diameter. So 1.3 to 1.2 inches in diameter hail now at this point in time. That is very large. It is severe. It's not very large. It's 1 inch is the smallest for a severe thunderstorm, right? So we do have our hail now at 1.3 inches. So hail is now a concern. National Weather Service is thinking the radar lightning or likely took a lightning strike, but they are investigating that. But hail definitely showing up much larger at this point in time. Much larger hail, around an inch for Flower Bluff, Padre Island, and Corpus Christi Bay. So Ingleside, I would be cautious. Ingleside by the bay, you could be getting in on some of this larger hail. Let me turn the lightning off so we can look at where the hail would be. So now it looks like Corpus Christi Bay is really where the updraft is. The updraft is where you're gonna get the largest hail because it is sending it high, high up into the tops of the atmosphere. And as that happens, that is also a sign of why we are getting so much cooler here in Corpus Christi. We got down to 69 degrees. That's because this storm is tall. And it is bringing air down from where it is much, much cooler up high. But this pink over Corpus Christi Bay is a sign of a deep hail core. It is a sign of a rotating updraft. Water spouts will be possible.
Do I need to have my right now?
Yeah, whenever.
Okay. How do I know like when
All right, if you're just joining this live stream, it is 4:40. We are 20 minutes from 3 News at 5. We will be live, of course, at 5 with all of the latest information on the severe thunderstorm warning. But the warning is set to expire at 5 p.m. The strongest part of the storm is moving over Padre Island now, Port Aransas as well as Corpus Christi Bay. Flower Bluff, you're starting to get on the backside. Corpus Christi, you are now on the backside. We will start to see improvements in our visibility. In fact, let's check the Lex camera. We are starting to try to set up a cut-in on live on 3 News, just as we prepare for the news. And to let anyone know that isn't watching where the strongest part of the storm is. But yeah, visibility has improved through downtown, which is just fabulous to see. We still have a lot of lightning. Visibility here at our studio is still very, very poor. So visibility along SPID still very, very poor. Yes, I can hear my director. Okay. This is the current visibility on our tower camera. Now we will go back to radar. Awesome. In a minute 30, we will also be doing a cut-in on 3 News on the television. So if you want to just go ahead and turn that on so you're ready for 3 News at 5. You know what though? If you're watching this on Roku, Fire TV, or Apple TV, we have free apps you can download there. And if you're already watching there, the 3 News at 5 will also just start at 5 right here. If you're watching on YouTube or Facebook, that will not happen. So you need to switch either to 3 News on TV or 3 News apps on your smart TV. All right, we are about to do this live cut-in on 3 News. Here's a look at a live radar. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Right now there is a severe thunderstorm warning until 5 p.m. Till 5 p.m. So reminder, 3 News does start at 5 p.m., but we will have any latest information then as well. But there is a severe thunderstorm warning that does include Nueces County. Now it is moving through Corpus Christi as we speak, and it is capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So we have 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts that we are tracking through the heart of Corpus Christi, possible. The strongest part of the storm is actually over Corpus Christi Bay. You can see there is a lot of lightning with this storm. In fact, if we were to query this, there is probably well over 500 lightning strikes over the last 5 minutes. The storm's leading edge, where the strongest wind would be, is now passing over Padre Island and Port Aransas. So Port Aransas down to Padre Island and along 361, that is where our strongest winds are going to be. We also have the updraft with the possibility of 1-inch hail over Corpus Christi Bay. So if we get rid of our lightning strikes, you will see pink. That is where the strongest part of the storm is expected. Now the heavy rain is starting to come to an end in downtown Corpus Christi, so we are starting to see visibility improve, but low visibility now along 361 on the JFK Causeway. That is going to be some of the most dangerous part of the storm, on top of the lightning. Lightning and 60-mile-per-hour winds may be responsible for tree damage as well as power outages. Power outages are expected as the storm continues to track to the east at about 15 miles per hour. We still have some moderate to heavy rainfall across Nueces County. This will be coming to an end over as we are approaching sunset. But for now, this is going to be it for your live TV 3 News cut-in. Don't forget, you can also stream us or download the 3 News app. Streaming takes place on your smart TV. You can download the 3 News app for free there. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. Don't forget also 3 News starts at 5 o'clock as well. Hey there, everyone. Thank you for watching this live update. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. We are now 11 minutes away from the start of 3 News. So I will be starting to get ready for that. But if you are watching on our live streaming platforms, Severe Thunderstorm warning is until 5 p.m. So up until 5 p.m., we do have a severe thunderstorm warning. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1-inch hail are possible. This is really going to be for the area crossing between Port Aransas and Padre Island. So any of the vacation homes that are along that 361 stretch, this is where we have the greatest risk of those 60-mile-per-hour winds and the 1-inch hail. We're seeing the pink on the radar. That will be moving that direction. If I am not talking, it is because I am multitasking, y'all, so bear with me. I am meteorologist Carly Smith, and we are getting ready for 3 News at 5, and we are tracking this strong thunderstorm that is severe. Severe thunderstorm warning is until 5 p.m. And we are getting reports of power outages, lightning strikes causing issues. It looks like the Corpus Christi radar is back in business, as a lightning strike likely took that out for a few minutes there. So we do have our Corpus Christi radar back, and we are rocking and rolling on this Thursday at 3:50 p.m. Heavy rain, we are getting now some signs of 2 inches of rainfall out toward Robstown, Chapman Ranch area, Kingsville, Falfurrias, not as much rain. So let's go back to the Corpus Christi radar. So we are seeing spotty showers and storms out near Falfurrias and Hebbronville, not of new convection, and that will likely be the trend as we continue. This storm is going to continue to move to the west or to the east, and as it does so, we will see our rain and visibility start to improve. But the strongest part of the storm really is Ingleside by the Bay, Aransas Pass, down through Port Aransas, across 361 into Padre Island. That is the strongest part of this storm right now. This is where the strongest wind, tree damage, things like that will be. A San Patricio employee out in Odom has reported 3.82 inches of rain. Corpus Christi's peak temperature 94, and now the temperature is, are you ready for this? 72, so it's going back up now that the heaviest rain is starting to move out of the area. Sarita is down to 75, so Falfurrias, your temperature has fallen, but unfortunately you're not getting in on the most rainfall today. Similar story for Hebbronville, Benavides. Freer saw some rain, Alice saw some rain. This is where the storm started in Alice, and then it took a turn toward Corpus Christi, y'all. I will leave the live radar up. This live stream is going to end at 4:55, so. But 3 News at 5 will be starting shortly after that. I'm going to leave the radar up. If I get an important update from the National Weather Service, I will chime in, but I will be getting ready for 3 News at 5 now. Thank you all for watching. I'm meteorologist Carly Smith. It's going to end at 55. It's live radar. The volume might still be on, so